Oh, oh, oh. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatye Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Vyasa Shankara Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Sruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyani Nirutam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha Om Sri Tapona Sishyaya Namaha. Hari Om. So let us chant the Shanti Patha for the second Anuvaka, that is for the second Valli of Taittiriya. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now we're going to start Brahmananda Valli today. We have completed Siksha Valli last week. Now the name Siksha Valli comes because in Siksha Valli the first word is Siksha. Brahmavalli, it is called, second Valli is called Brahmavalli. So it's called, starts with the word Brahma. That's why it's called Brahmavalli. It also does Ananda Mimamsa as a part of this text. It analyzes what is happiness. In this particular Valli, later on it comes. So it also called Ananda Valli for that reason. Okay. Now, also together there's one more, Brahmananda Valli, third name. So some people call it Brahmavalli, some people call Anandavalli, some people call Brahmananda Valli. It is most popularly called Brahmananda Valli. It is the most important section of Taittiriya Upanishad. So a lot of questions are answered. In addition to lifting us to our true nature, which is the goal of all Upanishads. Then third Valli is called Bhrugu Valli. That is the last portion of the Taittiriya Upanishad. First is Siksha Valli, second is Brahmananda Valli, third is Bhrugu Valli. That also starts with the word Bhrugu. That's why it's called Bhrugu Valli. Okay? That's how it goes. Now, this starts with the definition of Brahma. Means God. What is God? See, this is amazing. If I don't find any better definition, if you look for it, this is probably one of the most, if not the most, eloquent description of the Brahma Tattvam. Okay. With that, let me please show the first Anuvaka of Brahmananda Valli. Good. Very good. We'll just do this much today, hopefully. So let me chant. Brahmavida apnoti param tadeshabhyukta satyam jnanam anantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman so snute sarvan kaman saha brahmana vipassiteti. Okay, let me repeat that. Om Brahmavida apnoti param tadeshabhyukta Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman Sosnute Sarvan Kaman Saha Brahmana Vipaschiteti. Now, very first opening sentence, it is saying Brahmavidapnoti param. It is called Sutra Vakya. Sutra Vakya means as a ephemerism or as a small capsule. The whole Upanishad is stated. Called Sutra Vakya. Sutra means ephemerism or a capsule like statement. What is that? Brahmavida apnoti param. Though the knower of Brahman or Brahma, short Brahma. There is no dirgha. When you have Brahma, it is Chaturmukha Brahma or Prajapati or Hiranyagarbha. Here it is sharp Brahman or Brahma. Brahmavida apnoti param. Vida means the no Brahma Vida, and the knower of Brahman. Apnoti attains Param the Supreme. So Param is first thing, we'll take that. Supreme means moksha. What is that? In other language, it is also called Purnatvam, fullness. In some other language, it is also called Parama Shanti, absolute, total fulfillment. That means you are free from samsara. Samsara disappears as a binding force in your life. Because you become full. Asangatvam will become your nature and you pervade whole thing. You realize everything appears transactionally in us, not separate from you. What appears to you is just a dream. It comes and goes. You have control over it. And it rises in you like in a ocean and then has a play, not an absolute presence. So now the word apnoti bothers some people. Why is it called apnoti? Apnoti means you get it, you attain it. Now, if you're all pervading, infinite, ever present being that has no birth and no death, you will always be there. It is not something you get. Why are you saying apnoti? So Bhagavan Shankaracharya clarifies that. He says with Brahma with. That is the main point you have to take. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. Apnoti means he becomes Brahman. Knowing darshana adarshanath. Here explain. Darshana means you see yourself as who you are. Adarshana means not seeing yourself as you are. Then samsara comes. So he writes about 3 pages of commentary. Further detailed commentary I will also come next. So I will just give summary of what he writes in this context. He says, first point I already mentioned, apnoti here means realizing who you are with Brahma, with. that is the main emphasis. Then he says, it is like a person, this is a famous story. Bhagavan quotes in the commentary. It's a famous story he quotes. A guru who has 10 students, he calls those 10 students, guys, you go cross that river, you 10 go together, cross that river, and do this work, take care of this work in the village on the other side, and then return safely. I want all the 10 to be back. Then, so they told that 10, so that's fine. So they cross over the river, and then after they go there, one of them says, well, our guru told us we need to be safe. So let us make sure all of us cross the river. So they count. And every one of them do not count himself, and they count all the others. So they keep getting 9. And then they start crying. We lost one person. Wait, Asa. Then one person passing by stops and asks them, why are you guys crying? He said, we were 10 people when we left our ashram. Now only 9 of us are here. He counts. He sees 10. Then he doesn't know what is going on. So he asks one of them, tell me how you're counting. So there he counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then he asks somebody else. And he also counts 9 people. Like everybody's counting. Then he tells them, he holds his hand and says to the one who is counting, say, you are the 10, and shows his own self as 10. Then suddenly he realizes that I am the 10th. So everybody said, Dasoham, I am the 10th, I am the 10th, I am the 10th. The story is very famous, many of you might have known, but Bhagavan Shankaracharya quotes in this context. The reason he quotes this is because, and he explains, the reason the persons have not counted themselves, but only counted the others, is because of the Bahya Drusti. Our view is only on the outers. And so you are missing yourself. In the Vedanta Shastra, the biggest miss that we do is only counting our personality layers. But we do not count the actual swarupa of ourselves. If you don't count your swarupa, what you count is the products of the swarupa. Suppose you have 15 articles of wood in your house. It could be trays, it could be chairs, tables, and it could be vases, center tables. They're all made of wood. Each one of them is separate nama and rupa. But the moment you say it is wood, all of them are counted. because wood is the swarupa of the all wood items. So it depends upon how you count. All wood items can be one item tick off. In the same way, if you count your physical body as, and then you stop there, world looks like matter. So each wood object looks different because you have different name and different form. On the other hand, if you step in this context, Swarupa, just only one step, all of them came. But in the case of human beings, there are several layers. Physical layer, which is changing, mental layer, which is changing, intellectual layer, that is changing. Also, pranamaya kosha, also some people count it. Then we have this deep sleep state, that is also, some days we sleep well, sometimes don't sleep well, sometimes long, sometimes short, all are also changing. All of them arise in Swarupa. We saw that in Chandogya, chapter 6. Whether it is a mosquito, elephant, Vyaghropi, Manushopi, all of them have the same Swarupa. But when we do not count Swarupa, like the fellow 10th man continue to miss himself because he is not counting himself and the others are counting outside. Distracted mind has vikshepa. Then it creates fear, it creates sorrow, it creates samsara. In chapter 10 of Panchadasi, Vidyaranya Swami elaborately discusses this. What the Bhagavan here wrote in 3-4 sentences. In chapter 7, Trupti Dvipa, Trupti Deepa, chapter 7 of Panchadasi, called Trupti Deepa, he explains this elaborately, almost 40 slokas are there. Vidyaranya Swami elaborately makes this point in our mind. So you never have this question again. Like that he explains. Now we also seen in Kathopanishad, I will quote this because it is 2.1.1, second valli of Kathopanishad. It says, Paranchikhane vyatrunat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman kasyadhiraha pratyagatmanamaikshatu avrukta chechuhu amutatvamichan. Very famous sloka. Paranchikani vyatrunat swayambhu. Our senses are created, extraverted, therefore they have practically they are destroyed. Vratunat. Because they drive you out. Our Gurudev frequently used to say they drive you out because during the evolution process you needed to protect yourself. But now you have buddhi. You listen to scriptures and then they can still be protected. But because they are defective to start with, you only look outside. Na antaratman. You don't withdraw to the source of your existence. And you are caught up in the existent products, not existence itself. You are in the existent. They borrow existence from you. Just like the woodness is borrowed by table. Woodness is borrowed by the chair. Woodness is borrowed by center table. But wood is same. In the same way, we borrow our own conscious existence, which is all pervasive self, and using that, call ourselves, I'm limited, I'm individual, I have samsara. Using your own true nature, you label yourself. By bahya drushti, not counting yourself. So here, what Upanishad is trying to tell you is to make you aware of your Swarupa. This is Bhagavan writes very nice comment, 3 pages. I'm summarizing because as you go further, there's more and more similar details. So I'm just giving you broad idea. Also, kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam akshat. Only few people, handful of people in the totality of the civilization, they have that desire. Pratyagatmanam aikshat. He sees. Amurta chakshuhu amurtasyan amurtatvam. He sees inward. So he travels into the woodness. All of them dissolve. What is yourness? Yourness is Sat and Chit. What is myness? Sat and Chit. Without my awareness and without my existence, world doesn't appear. I am the witness. You may be watching me or not. I am the watcher of my thoughts. I am the watcher of my intellect. I am the watcher of my lack of everything in my deep sleep. But I am always exist as existence. Now, out of that existence, I take some pieces as my children and then I project into them. My minus. Then I become extroverted. But if you exactly go back to your roots and be yourself, then you see others rising in you. Just like ocean can see waves rising in it. The moment you shift your attention to the existence consciousness, you can see the world rising in you. Be detached like a sakshi and yet transact. Nothing can exist without your presence. That is existence. Pure existence. Objects have existence borrowed from you. As you see, so they appear. If you see yourself first, they appear as waves in you. It's a truth. You become detached to certain things as you grow older. How? Because you are able to see their limitations in yourself. Nobody else has to tell you. In the same way, whole thing is only a appearance in you. Just say, be Shiva, 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 Shiva. Just be that. And practice being yourself. And that is happiness. Purity itself is happiness. Impurity itself is projection into happiness into outside. So 3 pages of commentary Bhagavan writes. Then one question is asked. Then if Brahma Vidapnoti Param, why you are saying Apnoti? So he is saying Apnoti is not getting something outside, it is realizing who you are. Darshana Adarshana. Then he gave the example of last student, 10th man. So to make the point very clear. Param, he explains, it is the neutralization of the samsara. Then Bhagavan says in the commentary that what is the reason the first mantra itself says Brahma Vidapnoti Param? He says it is because it is telling you what is the prayojana, what is the sadhana. Sadhana is to realize yourself with. Param means, apnoti param means you attain supreme. So this mantra in itself is telling you what is the purpose of this Upanishad. And he also adds, unless you know what is the reason I am studying this Upanishad, you don't have the enthusiasm to follow. to study, to feel yourself, because you feel comfortable with everything around, but not aware of their limitations. Okay, so these are some of the key points. Um, then we go to the elaboration of this. Brahmavida apnoti param. Now the question will come: what is Brahman? You said Brahmavid. So what is? You didn't never told. It is come. What is knowing? Where I find him? What do you mean by param? Purnatvam, moksha, all these things are nice. But how? How do you get it? Apnoti, how do you get it? The answer is now first sentence Brahmavida apnoti param. That much is called sutra vakya. Now Vritti vakya will come. Vritti vakya means those three words it explains further. Okay. Now we already chanted, don't have to show, but I will read it again, then I will explain. Okay. Tadesha bhyukta satyam jnanam anantam brahma. Tadesha bhyukta. To explain this, there is this ruk from the Rig Veda. See, Upanishads also have Brahmana Upanishads are there, and then also Mantra Upanishads are there. Mantra Upanishads are mantras are more like a sloka, like sloka, like we already saw the Ishavasya Upanishad. It's like a mantra Upanishad. Mundaka is also mostly like a mantra, predominantly. Whereas the Taittiriya is Brahmana Upanishad. It's more like a prose. There are sentences and then paragraphs. They are called Anuvakas. Then Brahmananda Valli has 9 Anuvakas. Okay, so it's made of. It's just like structure, like a prose. Okay, so this is what. So now, Vritti Vakya is explanation of Sutra Vakya. That Vritti Vakya. This is Vritti Vakya. Excuse me. Uttivakya is I will read now. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman so slute sarvan kamaan saha brahmana vipaschiteti. Iti, at the end they say iti, the quotation, quote unquote. This is Uttivakya. Little bit explanation of the Sutra Vakya, which is Brahma Vidapnoti Param. It's executive way of style of writing it. Bhagavan Shankaracharya also writes in the same way. He, in the opening sentence, he gives the executive answer. Then he elaborates. Very, very typical style. Very beautiful style. When I was writing reports when I was working, same thing. We write an abstract and then we write a summary and then we write conclusions, then we write recommendation. Then you write the elaborate results. So the people who want interest only read the abstract and then summary and then conclusions. Same way here. So so satyam jnanam anantam brahma. So your question was, what is definition of Brahman? The definition is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahma is the one is being defined. There is elaborate discussion on this, but I'll just go through summaries. Because Brahman is Satyam. Brahman is Jnanam. Brahman is Anantam. Satyam means eternally same. So it has no birth, no death. Because if there's a change, birth is a change. Aging is a change. Death is a change. So all the objective knowledge and the objects we see have a birth and death. So they do not fit into the category of Satyam. Then question will come, how do I know that's Satyam? I will try to tell in two ways. I already mentioned earlier. One way is, look at this Swarupa. So your Swarupa from childhood to youth to old age, your Swarupa does not change. It watches you as a witness. You know you're aging. You know you have graduated. You know you have married. You know you are now becoming older. You know you are now like this. You constantly watch the changes, but you are the changeless. So suppose while you are listening to my talk, you have your mind stops momentarily very often. That is changeless you. That is pure. Suddenly there is a thought of something that comes, then you have become supporter of the change. You have not left, but you have become a sakshi and the changes have become overtaken you. Samadhi is only as far from you as your thoughts are. If your thoughts stop, you become the support. And you instantly you become infinite because everybody meets at the same spot. The limitations are because, as Bhagavan said, because you are counting out. You stop counting outward, your senses become withdrawn. Then you revel into yourself. That is one way. It is very direct way because many of you have been hearing these pravachans. This is what I have been telling you. Anything, even if you have a thought, you do not follow the content of the thought. And you shift your attention from the content to the consciousness. But if your mind is on the content, then it will give you byproducts. Then memories will come in, and then it byproduct. Then your new vasana will form. But your attention shifts to the consciousness, which illumines it. In this context, what I said, content is my money. That is content. That accumulates. The content goes further. But if you look at as a common support, which is consciousness and existence, the content withdraws through consciousness back to itself. Like that, you keep going from body, mind, intellect, and also to lack of ideas, lack of thoughts means being itself. That being has no limitations. It is pure being. Being itself has no limit. Becoming has limitations. That's that is normally, this is how I explain. This is how I practice also. Sadhana, nididhyasana is this. I'm not that, I'm not that. And then let it pass. Don't hold on to it. This is how, that's a very direct way. But then if you, in the some of the other way, we are also in Vedanta Shastra, also it is taught by technique called Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Bhagatyaga. It requires certain education. I will mention that here. Suppose I see this, I call it book, Taittiriya Upanishad, Shankara Bhashya. Then, I like books. These are all objects. These are also Taittiriya Upanishad, Shankara Bhashya by different author. So all these various names are there. Each name has a form associated with it. That is how you define that. It has a name and a form. So name is unique, correspondingly form is also unique. That is how you transact with your mind. But there is another important aspect that we don't pay attention. That is all of them exist in your consciousness. If you are not paying attention in your consciousness, they don't exist. So who is providing the existence to them? And if I'm looking at it, I provide existence. If I'm not looking at it, I don't offer existence to it. Existence is there first, and then object comes next. Consciousness and existence are the support. They have to be there first. If you remove them, suppose I sleep now, they don't exist. So it's called Anvaya Vyatireka in technical language. Anvaya means if something is present, that exists. This is not present, that doesn't exist. If that is the case, then this is the one that is providing existence to that. So all your worries, all your boasting, or all your weaknesses, strengths, every one of them requires your first presence. That is called Sat and Chit. Sat means Satyam. So when we see an object, we miss that part. That is Satyam. Objects also have a Satyam. I call it the Satyam is real. It's not illusion. But that is relative. It has a Nama and Rupa specific to that. Whereas the Sattva existence, Sattvatva, Satyatva is common to all of them. But that we don't see because we are not trained to see. That's called easiness. So without me being present first, my objects of experience or my body, mind, all these things do not have any reality. That one we don't count. So if I ask you, what do you see here? So 99% of the people would immediately say, I see the pencil. But they won't say, I see your hand. You're actually seeing my hand and the pencil in it. You're all automatically, the support, you take it out. In the same way, consciousness and existence is the awareness principle and also the fundamental support of the whole cosmos. And you are that. So in your life, you provide that through you. But it's so subtle, it's actually subtler than the space also. The next, in this mantra only it will come, in this Anuvaka only it will come, even space comes out of it. So you are a witness of the space that comes out of you. In that space, your objects will appear. Even mind is also the support of the space, consciousness. Now, if you just, so it's so subtle, you don't pay attention to it. You just, you are trained not to see it, not to realize yourself. This is also called, so basically what it is saying is you thought there are certain things you automatically you do like that. So just I said, when you, what is in this, what is there, what you see, you only see this pencil, you don't see my hand. Automatically our mind is trained not to see the support. Just like the hundreds of golden ornaments, you don't see the support. Support is gold. You only see the individual names. So one more beautiful example is, suppose you say I ate a mango. You automatically reject the fact that I did not eat the seed, but I only eat the juice part of it. I threw the skin and I threw out the seed. But you only accept what you are trying to see. Bhagatyaga, you automatically do. Means you drop a part and then you understood the rest, called Bhagatyaga. So if we are never trying to see consciousness and Chaitanya and Sat, and that Sat is you provide that Sat. Because of you, in you, objects are coming. So you are not this limited individual until you see through this. If you don't see through this, you pervade all. Within you, everything rises. Just like within the ocean, waves rise. So whenever you drop the peculiarities called Viseshas, you will become the commonness. That's called Samanya. So when the waves, we are all like waves, individual. Our mind is only roaming within the waves. But when you shift our attention to the Swarupa, which is the ocean, then everything becomes ocean. Exactly same way, when your heart, mind, we constantly draws its attention to itself, you become that infinite now itself. That infinite presence is called Satyam. All objects appear in it, but it is changeless. Why? Because they were only borrowing existence from it. Just like gold, ornaments borrow existence from gold. Number one. So, vastutaha. Anyway, let me go to Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Let's go to Anantam next. Anantam means aparichinna, not broken into. Parichinna means broken. So this object is different from that object, that object, that object. But they are all based upon our conditioning in the mind, nama, rupa. That correlation we establish in our mind. But when you look at the Sat Drushti, from consciousness and existence, they are appearing, then it becomes. So why? So Ananta, a parichinna can be, parichinna means broken into. Parichinna can be three types. Vastu, Desha, Kala, Vastu. So Desha means by space. So New York is not in Dallas. Desha. They are both separate space. This is separated by space. Kala. New York did not exist 500 years ago. What you call today did not exist 500 years ago. I don't know what they call. Dallas did not exist 300 years ago. So it is born in time and then it disappears after some time. Maybe who knows what will happen. Buildings change, bodies fall out, drop out. So we are all parichinna by time. Kala. Vastu parichinna. Vastu parichinna means book is not the pen. Pen is not the teacup. So this, I am not book. So we are all defined by dimensions within the object. This object limits this definition of this person or this pen. So, but it is Ananta Satyam. Brahman is Anantam and also Satyam. It means it has no separation in itself by desha or by kala or by vastu. Means everything is in it. Like a dream. In dream, everything is there. But you also know, Brahmavida apnoti, the person who realizes, he knows everything is appearing in him while he is dreaming also. Because none of it, you have to, this thinking has to sink in. None of it exists without your presence first. Then you expand. Then you have nistha in that expanded consciousness state of existence. You practice nistha in it. Then world starting to appear to you as a waving movement within you. And then you also see how the world is appearing. Now, for example, if I ask you one more, this is slightly different, same question, different way. What do you see? You say pencil. But because of the light, this pencil is appearing to you. But you don't count light. In the same way, within you as existence and consciousness, world appears in you. That consciousness is a part and parcel of existence. That is why world looks so real, but it appears, borrows from you, your consciousness and your existence. And they appear in you, and you are actually that infinite globe in which a spark is coming and going, but your attention is on the spark. But the whole space is also arising in you. So, Satyam Anantam. All objects appear in you as the existence supporting their presence. Like all the golden ornaments are within gold. And it happens when we withdraw our attention from the mind. It is not hypothetical. And it's Anantam means there is no limitation that you are superimposing on yourself. Okay, then you become Anantam. Some people ask this question to one of our Guruji. He said, why? How is it possible? Try. That's what he said. If you ask the question, your always whole life goes on in questions only. You try. It's not rocket science. Rishi is telling you are that. Bhagavad Gita is also constantly repeating. Apuryamana pradishtam samudramapaha pravishanti yadvat. It's like this, complete, very clear. Bhagavad Gita, numerous quotations we told. Upanishads are also constantly repeating the same thing. You are that infinite existence consciousness. Consciousness is like light in which you see your objective presentation like in a dream. Jnanam. The question Jnanam will come because very often people get mixed up with when it is the support of the whole world like gold. Murtika eva satyam. The earth, mud is only the reality, whereas the pot is not real. Gold example I give, gold and then ornaments, waves and water. So cause and effect. When you look at from the point of the cause and effect, then you always think cause is inert. Somebody external is molding the cause into various effects. So are you inert? To negate that, you are jnanam. Your swarupa is jnanam. You are that consciousness in which things appear and you witness. When you withdraw your attention, you become that consciousness and existence. That is Satyam and Jnanam. What is the name? What is its nature? Anantam. It's not broken in time and space and time. Parichinna comes after. Just like the 10th man has only seen outside objects. So the basic conclusion is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is the answer to the question Brahma Vidapnoti Param. The questions that arise out of that statement Brahma with Apnoti Param. Why? Because you become that which is your Swarupa. A question also arises, Bhagavan answers that. The question is it Satyam Jnanam Anantam? Is it like a adjective? What is the difference between adjective and this? Satyam Jnanam Anantam. You are describing Brahman. Is it Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam? Are they adjectives to Brahman? The question is actually raised. Bhagavan actually says that it is not an adjective, it's a definition, he says. It's a Lakshana Vakya, he says. It is actually a definition. What is the difference between adjective and Lakshana Vakya? The questions will come. So all these things are answered. He says an adjective is used to separate one item from the rest. And the example he gives is Neela Utpalam Mahat Sugandhya. Sugandhim. Neela means black. Utpalam means lotus. Mahat means big. Sugandhim means has perfume, good smell. You give all these examples, all these all these adjectives. Why? Because you want to go directly to what you're telling. Isolate the rest of it. The moment you said black, all the other colors are eliminated. Big means all the small ones and medium ones are eliminated. Fragrant, all the ones, even within the neelam and blue or black, even them also where there is no smell, you eliminate that. Big. So like this, Visheshanam is used to separate out what you want from the rest. So it applies only in Sajatiya. Utpalam defines the jati. Then within the Utpalam means here lotus. Within the lotus family, you are looking for a particular type. Whereas Lakshana Vakya, he says, applies to all jatis. Swarupa, Sajati, like this, all of them, Lakshana Vakya is Swarupa Vakya. Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata. All of them are included in this Lakshana Vakya. All possible varieties are there in Lakshana Vakya. Nothing is excluded. It is a universal statement. So it is not a Visheshana by classic definition. It is a Visheshana from the point of view of you to understand it, but it is actual Lakshana Vakya, he says. Beautiful discussion actually. So Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is the definition of God that is all pervasive, infinite, aware, not broken by what we are normally used to as Desha Kala Vastu. That is Brahman. Now, where do you find it? Where do you find it? So, this particular Vritti Vakya talks about that. Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. That which is found in your own heart. Nihitam, as though hidden. Parame Vyoman, in the supreme space of your heart. You who knows that Paramevyo, that hidden in the heart. So srute sarvan kamaam saha. He infinitely attains all desires that he ever unnecessarily entertained. So basically he becomes infinite and then Purnatvam becomes his nature. And limitations automatically become irrelevant because they never existed. They were only supported by you. So slute sarvan kama saha brahmana vipaschiteti. That's up to that we read. Those who know brahmana vipaschita, who understood that completely, clearly, as present in yourself as you, Swarupa Lakshana. All his desires become as though neutralized and he experiences infinite bliss. Samsara becomes extinguished. So there's a lot of commentary on it. I'm intentionally not going to details because almost 10 pages of commentary is there. Beautiful commentary. Some of them I will take. So we'll resume on Thursday. Om Purnamataha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om